This video is sponsored by Raycon. So I'm expecting a package from a VH delivery service, and to be quite honest, I've never heard of this company, so hopefully my package gets here in one piece. Oh, why, that must be them right now. Well, time to see what type of condition this thing arrives in. Hey-o. Well, I definitely wasn't expecting that. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the network, where today we're taking a look at yet another product from our friends over at Raycon. This time we're taking a look at their new bone conductive headphones. Now, these were sent over to me for free for the purposes of review by Raycon, but rest assured, all opinions in this video are my own, and in no way, shape, or form have been influenced by Raycon. Now, without any further introduction, let's head over to the table and see what's included with our bone conductive headphones. So, taking a look at the box, we do have the Raycon logo up at the top, along with a graphic for the bone conduction headphones. Sliding off our external little slip cover, we get a little power-up folder that contains a quick start guide, along with a Raycon sticker that we could put on our water bottle or something. Taking a quick look at the quick start guide, it does kind of go over the initial setup for the headphones, along with a little overview on what some of the buttons do. Then taking a further look inside of the box, we do have yet another box that contains our charging cable, which seems to be about 1.5 feet maybe, along with a little elastic band used for tensioning the headset in case it is a little too big for your head. Following that up, we do have the headset itself, which features the Raycon logo and this sort of band design with 3 buttons at the bottom. It looks like one for volume up, one for volume down, and one for mode. This headset does also feature an adjustable ear hook so that you can get things a little tighter on your ears. So now that we've seen what's included with the bone conductive headphones, let's take a moment to go over some of the features that these headphones actually provide. Starting with getting these connected to your device, which is super easy as with most of the Raycon products. The first order of business will of course be to turn the headphones on, and that is done via like this little mode switch down at the bottom. If you hold it for just a few seconds, you'll see that they spring to life, and then you get this little blue flashing sort of LED that will immediately enter a pairing mode. And then to find them on your device, simply head into the Bluetooth settings and then scroll down to available ones. You'll see that you can find the Raycon bone conductive headphones. Go ahead and click on that. You're going to get a Bluetooth pairing request. You click pair, and then you are all good to go. You'll hear a nice, lovely little voice inside of your bone conduction headphones telling you that they are connected. Putting these on, you kind of slide them on the back of your head, almost like you know, when you're wearing a pair of glasses and they have that little chain that's on there to keep it on your head. So it runs along the back of your head, and if this is like, you know, too big for your head, that little rubber band sort of dealio that comes with it is used to cinch the back of the headphones so that you kind of get a little tighter, snugger fit for those smaller heads that are out there. Now, once your headphones are connected to your device, you can start listening right away. Again, these do feature adjustable ear mounts you can use to either tighten it on your ear, so if it feels a little loose, you can kind of cinch it just a little bit so it feels a little tighter, and this will also amplify the sound. I do like how they're kind of low profile. They do come in a variety of colors. However, for me, I chose gray. They also come in a violet, a blue, and a green. Gray just looks super professional, I want to say. Like, it almost looks like you're not really wearing anything, at least from this front-on perspective. So if you want to kind of have a sort of discreet way of listening to things. But these headphones also do feature the signature multi-point connectivity. Now, you may wonder, what is multi-point connectivity? And to answer that, it's a really neat feature where you don't have to unpair these headphones from, say, your phone to connect them to a gaming device or your computer or something else for that matter. All you do is disconnect the Bluetooth on your main device, the first one that you paired, and then these headphones will enter a pairing mode again, and with that you can pair them to another device. Now, these headphones also do feature a mode called Hypersync, and initially I was pretty confused as to what that was, but apparently Hypersync mode is a feature that most of the Raycon gaming products have, where they are ultra low latencies. So you essentially get really low lag when it comes from actually hearing what is being shown or sent out from your device. Ergo, if you're playing like rhythm games, you want your music to be pretty much on sync to the stuff that is showing up on the screen, and the hypersync mode is something that can provide that for you. Now, we've gotten this far into the video, and you may be wondering, what is bone conduction and how does that apply to headphones? And to answer that, pretty much you get like this little pad area, and what that does is it sits on essentially your bone, your temple, and through the series of few vibrations or a little bit of vibrations, you can hear like sounds, which is pretty interesting technology. I know that there's been some other applications of bone conduction, and I've only ever tried one, and it was pretty cool, and these are actually living up to what I've experienced in the past. However, on that note, there is one thing about bone conduction that can be kind of annoying. Now, if you are hypersensitive to like vibrations, where if you don't like this feeling of things vibrating against your ear or whatnot, you probably may not be that interested in bone conduction technology, because through my testing with these headphones, I have experienced that if you listen to something that's like hardcore dubstep or has like a really heavy bass and you crank that volume all the way up, it does feel almost like when you're in a car and you have the bass up and you can feel the doors rattling. You almost get that feeling of the headphones on your ear. So pretty much that is my only gripe with bone conduction, is that the vibrations can be somewhat annoying or potentially distracting depending on your situation. In terms of my personal experience using the Raycon Bone Conduction Headphones, I do really like them. I've used them while crafting. I made a couple helmets the other day and had these in, and I was listening to some tunes. Now, another nice feature of these is that they are super lightweight, which is pretty nice when it comes to headphones, because, you know, if you're using your traditional type of headphone, it's pretty heavy, and after a while your head kind of gets sore, or in my case, when I have my afro, the band kind of like just cuts this mountain in there and I become Twin Peaks. You know, having something where it's low profile like this, goes around the back of the head, and it's very light, you can pretty much jam out and then forget that you're even wearing them, which is really, really nice. And taking a closer listen to the hypersync mode, which is included with these headphones, it does actually perform fairly well, I would have to say. I played Clone Hero for at least like 4 hours over the past week, and then turning on the hypersync mode, pretty much any sort of latency kind of goes out the window and you feel a little more comfortable. It's like it's matched a little better, and I gotta say, rhythm games are probably the best games to test that with, because those are the ones where, you know, audio synchronization is pretty important, because, you know, that's kind of the whole point of that genre of games. So the hypersync mode pretty much gets a 10 out of 10 in my book. It is a really nice feature that I look forward to being included with future Raycon products, because as a gamer myself, listening to tunes is one thing, but playing the games while wearing a headset is arguably more important to me. So having that sort of audio nut leg out is a very important key aspect for something that I'm looking for in headphones. Overall, I do have to say that I really enjoy these Raycon bone conductive headphones, and if you're in the market for bone conduction, which is a really neat technology, there is no better option than going with Raycon, because again, they tend to be the more affordable option with their products that they provide, and in this current, you know, economy, affordability is a very important thing. Now, with that being said, if you want to snag yourself a pair of the Raycon Bone Conduction Headphones, you can do so right now. And if you go to the link in the description or go to buyraycon.com/MCDnetworkBC, you'll get up to 15% off your Bone Conduction Headphones. That's right, 15% off. You know, that's a deal you just can't pass up. So what are you waiting for? Go ahead and head to either, again, the link in the description, or go to buyraycon.com/MCDnetworkBC to get up to 15% off your set of Bone Conduction Headphones. So with that, thank you so much for watching, and thank you to Raycon for providing the Bone Conduction Headphones for this review. Now remember to like the video and subscribe so that you don't miss any future content. And if you picked up or are picking up a pair of the Raycon Bone Conduction Headphones, go ahead and leave a comment down below on what your thoughts are, because I would very much be interested to hear what your opinions on this headphone are. And with that, I'll see you in the next one.